you Robin Hood? No, you did not tell them that you abandoned me for all day. It was very warm, and I only had my fan on one. Rabbit!
Come back!
I can see you. Rabbit!
Da, ba, ba.
Rah.
This is normal.
Did you clap?
Yeah. Okay.
Wouldn't be a Healyverse video without. Hi guys, welcome to the Healyverse, place where pretty much anything can be next, and that is proven quite well by today's episode, I think.
Yeah, so today we just wanted to sit and talk about a thing we went to.
We did a thing.
We did a thing.
We did a thing.
We did a thing.
For capital.
Thing. We did a thing, and we made a bunch of things for the thing. I'm gonna stop saying thing now.
So let's go find out what
Yeah, exactly.
Can't
You
do that
can't
now.
hit
Can't.
the table
I need
when the
I need a
microphone
banging
is
surface.
attached
That's
to
what I
it.
need. So, let's go find out what we did.
So yeah, we went to a medieval reenactment festival thing.
Called the Gathering of the North, and it was held at Sherwood Forest. Ye old Sherwood Forest, of course.
The actual, for anyone in our American audience, it is a bit of a surreal experience being an American who grew up with like tales of Robin Hood and Sherwood Forest and Nottingham, which is Nottingham, not Nottingham. I learned that.
Took her a while.
To just like be in Sherwood Forest, like the real place, it exists.
So naturally, we had to do it while dressed up.
What else have we been making stuff for?
How else do you go to Sherwood Forest?
You don't.
Imagine going to Sherwood Forest, not dressed like Robin Hood.
Which we did get mistaken for.
Couple
I say
of
we,
times.
he.
And that actually wasn't the intention, but
No.
it did end up being a couple of times. A little kid shuffled up to the side of me with just big eyes. I was like, hi. And then his mum appeared behind him. She was like, he was a bit shy, but he was just wondering, are you Robin Hood? And before I had a chance to really even think about what my answer was going to be, Katie went, no, we're looking for him too.
Because we were looking for the hooded man.
And this poor child's face. So, we only ruined one kid's day. He seemed fine. He got to go and meet the actual Robin Hood later.
Yeah.
And so did we.
You didn't.
But luckily he did get to meet Robin Hood, and so did we, which we'll get into a bit later.
So, yeah, it was a medieval festival held right in Sherwood Forest. It was free entry, which was, like, phenomenal. You did need to pay parking, but it was £10 for the day, and for however many people you could fit in your car. Unfortunately, we didn't have the kids that weekend, so it was just us.
Just the two of us. But that meant that we could actually film kind of freely
Content.
without having to worry about, like, showing the girls' faces or anything. So we'll take them to the next one.
Absolutely.
Everything.
Hopefully.
She's like, me, Anish, I want to say something first.
say nothing about me.
No, you did not tell them that you abandoned me for all day. It was very warm, and I only had my fan on one, when normally I has it on two.
And she's recovered great from her surgery. Yes, you.
She's like, what surgery? I just remember a long sleep.
Come on, Rabbit, pick up the pace. So, at said event, there was jousting, bowhurt, archery, axe throwing, as well as a whole bunch of...
Reenactment type things.
Yeah, I reenact and hide drink when you film every time. Why are you so... What time is it? It's about 7. Are you done now?
And there was also the Friends of Odin born Viking reenactment. That was pretty cool.
They were fantastic.
Very good. But yeah, it was just a very filled day. We had to walk around a couple of times just to make sure we saw everything properly. Don't get me wrong, there wasn't loads of stuff. Again, to American audience, I'm sure it's nothing compared to the size of festivals you have. But for England, at least as far as festivals I've ever seen or heard of,
It was pretty good.
really good. lots of stuff going on, lots of people dressed up. Not many people that had visited, like all the staff were dressed up. Not many event goers. Attendees, yeah. Not many attendees were feeling the immersion, but I don't suppose they have to be.
We stood out a little bit, but we got some really nice compliments and got mistaken for employees a handful of times. We also had a couple people just stop and ask to take our picture. Totally fine with that. So if any of you who took our pictures find these videos, please let us know.
Curious to know how we looked on them.
Me too.
I always managed to pull a stupid face somehow or other.
But in preparation for this event, we kind of blasted through a couple of projects because we were like, we need to make stuff. Now, some of those projects are getting videos of their own.
So we're not going to dwell on them too much. You may or may not have noticed them or seen them in the video, but we're not going to draw attention to them. But there were a couple of things that they just don't warrant a video of their own.
Yeah.
There was the hose that we made for mine, which was just a pair of... We'll chuck in the process of dyeing them probably, but we didn't really film cutting them up. It was literally just taking the two side bits off and leaving a track for the string to pull through. So.
Yeah, we just got some thrift store tracky bottoms or sweatpants if you're in America, and cut essentially the crotch out and then bits on the sides and dyed them. What was that? Oh, that's a little bit green.
They're not green. I definitely didn't have to wash green dye off my hands.
You don't have a green thumb or anything.
No. That's all those years of landscaping. Wear gloves when you're using dye, kids.
What you getting in there?
Things I'm allowed to get because I'm a grower.
Oh! That's a callback to a different video.
If you know you know.
This is a great job.
You're doing great. Sometimes it ain't about looking cool. I wouldn't know anything about it. Alright, we're ready.
Goodbye, cream trackies.
Since we haven't said anything about these beforehand, they were cream tracksuit bottoms. Katie's chopped them up into leg wrap kind of things, and we're going to change the colour of them because they're cream. And may or may not have been women before they became this. So. Okay, that's enough.
Yes. Well, they're not cream anymore.
Jesus, I was going to say.
Oh my
never will be
gosh.
again.
The camera's not picking it up, but they are ridiculously green.
Already.
It looks brown on here.
Does it?
Right.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow,
look
yeah,
at that.
To be fair though, the cloaks kind of did as well.
Yeah. It's alright. We'll get some outdoor footage that shows them properly when they're done. Have a good bath. What doing?
Removing.
Yes. They look so different on camera as to real life.
They look so brown.
I think it's the lighting, yeah. They're very green.
Very brown.
Hmm?
You're very brown.
No, I said they are very green.
Oh, actually.
Yeah, in real life. Alright, and then we rinse these. Here you go.
This is for something else.
Which? He's ruined my space, I ruin your time.
I'm going to break your momentum.
Rabbit, we need to get this done so we can go get you hay. Are you done? And then we dyed them. The same green we used for the cloaks. They came out fantastic. And it was like no sewing. So there wasn't enough of doing things to really warrant making their own video.
No. And there was also, obviously a lot of the stuff we've been making for Katie has been very battle mage wizardy, but for this one she was wearing a dress with a couple of layers to it, so one thing she did want for it was a skirt hike, which again, it was a strip of leather, a couple of rings, and then stitching it together.
And here it is. And it's beautiful, and it's perfect, and it's blue, and I absolutely love it. And when the leather wears out, I'll just get him to make me another one, because I have a husband who can just do stuff like this. Like, I see videos of people going to LARPs or Ren fairs and buying a skirt hike there. Get a husband to make you one. Not mine, though.
Depends how much they're willing to pay me.
To be fair, I'll make you one if you pay, but you don't get him as a husband. So yeah, I got to wear this really cool skirt hike, and it made my skirt just sit lovely and swoosh, and I was just so happy with it. And I kind of don't ever want to wear a long skirt without one now.
Fair. So yes, those were the couple of things that were just sort of thrown together for this. So then, yeah, there was there's one thing that I kind of have to talk about, but can't go too into, because it is going to get a video of its own, which also will bring us back to Robin Hood. But the other thing that I'd made in advance for this festival was off a request that we'd had in the comment section on the pipe frog video.
Pipe hug video.
Exactly, that's exactly the problem. On the pipe hug video, someone had mentioned maybe try making an axe frog. So my brain, I was like, okay, well, it has to be like a universal one. And initially, I was thinking, well, since we're going to this thing and the Robin Hood guy is going to be there, which if you haven't already seen the Robin Hood guy,
the Hooded Man.
The Hooded Man, absolutely recommend him. Loads of historical facts about Robin Hood and medieval England and weapons and how to shoot properly and different types of arrowheads and different types of
garb,
all kinds of stuff.
Loads.
Great channel and a really nice guy, which we now know personally. So absolutely recommend go checking him out. Since we were going along, and I've been watching his channel for a while, I thought, if there's a possibility that we're going to get to meet him, I'd like to make him something. So all the stuff that we've been making over the last few weeks.
It's mating season for Peacock.
And the rabbits are git. So it'd be nice to make him something that we can sort of take along, gift to him, and hopefully it'll make his day a little bit brighter and give him something that he can actually make use of in his videos. So initially, I decided to sort of combine the two videos, make an axe frog that I could give to the Hooded Man. And this is the one I came up with. But it kind of works okay for this axe, but it doesn't work great for actual metal-headed axes. So I'm gonna revamp that, and I'm gonna come back to that in another time. So what I decided to do in the end was make him a more historically accurate axe ring, because they were a thing back in those days, and even beforehand. Rings, apparently, fun little fact, were even used for currency depending on the type of metal that was used in it. If it was brass or gold or silver or steel, all varied in price for how much they'd cost. So yes, metal rings have been around for a very, very long time, and as such have either been hung on a belt or on a string or on a piece of leather strap that attaches to a belt. So that was what I wanted to do. I did have to order the rings separately because I wanted to make sure. I didn't know how big the shaft of his axe was going to be.
I beg your pardon?
And I wanted to make sure that it fit pretty much anything he put in it. So I did go for the 50mm. I'm just keeping all my fingers crossed that his axe isn't slightly smaller and it's not going to keep falling through. If it is, I've told him he's more than welcome to reach out, and I'll swap it.
Yeah,
so
and
I think that was it for things made.
Which, yeah,
oh, no,
that will get its own video.
That will get its own video separately
Soon.
We'll probably show his. Maybe.
I don't know if you have a...
No, I'll wait until we do the video for it.
Okay, which you will be seeing very soon, I promise.
Yes, it will potentially be the next creation video.
Probably. Probably.
Because there's a few. We did loads of stuff in that week to get this done.
We made so much, and it was kind of crammed, but obviously we took the week off from putting out a video, and then we took this past week off because we had the children for a week, and we went camping, which
we apologise, we weren't expecting 2 weeks off, but it's just how it turned out.
Sorry it's been a while, but we're back.
So, back to the festival. Like I say, the first thing we got there and had a bit of a wander around all the stalls, and you had your kids' weapons or wooden swords and plastic swords, and it was actually set up by, I think, the people that own the local shop, which is called the local store on site, which is called the Forest Archer. Sells all swords, weapons, bows,
other bits.
But this was all more the kids stuff on
the
store,
weapons.
wasn't it? And then you could still go to the shop and look at the real stuff. And then there was also clothing, loads of leatherwork. We did see a leatherwork guy, Stagman.
Stagman Creations or Stagman Designs, something like that.
Yeah, that was it.
It was lovely.
His stuff was amazing. He'd even made
Really
like
good.
a alien face hugger, all out of leather, individual. He said it took him like
A month or
weeks,
3 weeks,
3
something
weeks
like
or a
that.
month, and it was absolutely amazing. So yeah, that was really good. And then we decided to have a bit of a wander down to the other. Well, we sort of checked all the stalls out.
Yeah,
They were
all the
ones
stuff. So there were like kind of two locations. There was one when you initially walk in, just the other side of the Sherwood Forest shop, and then down the main path, right next to the Great Oak.
Mighty Oak.
The Mighty Oak, that's the one. The Mighty Oak was where the other kind of half of it was.
So the jousting was all held in the first half, and the bow hurt and the
axe throwing, archery.
Axe throwing, archery. The more things that you can do yourself were all sort of on the bottom section, and then at the top section was more displays and shows and stores, things you could buy. The little Viking group, the Friends of Odinborn, they were down in the bottom section. Or they were kind of in the middle bit, weren't they?
Yeah,
Where they
you
were all
kind of
camped.
walk past their encampment to get to the Bowhurt area.
It was a great little camp as well. It was very, very Viking-esque, the way they all dressed as well.
Yeah.
They looked
They
really
were
cool.
fantastic. We got some really good footage of them having a skirmish in the streets. Yeah. Shout out to them for telling us exactly where to set up our camera to get the best angle, because it was phenomenal.
Yeah, so unfortunately the same young man that bit it was the one who was like, go stand by that tree, you'll get the best shot, you'll get the best view, that's where we're going to be cutting it off anyway. And then...
But he's fine.
Rest in peace, my friend. He's fine.
So yeah, they did fantastic, and I've shared the video with them, so... All credit goes to them for that. And the jousting was put on by Outlaw Entertainment, and
That was really
phenomenal job. I didn't stop being entertained. No. Because obviously you've got the knights, which there were 3 knights on horseback.
All in character, all playing the part really, really well.
And shout out to the horses, the real heroes of the joust.
The horses were amazing.
Viking and Aramis, and I never caught the white one's name, but I love them all so much.
They were very cool.
But the squires, they were all in. We got told. What was it we got told?
Well, first of all, we had the lady.
Yes.
Ride over and tell us that we
Baroness.
looked very nice and we should try some of her beer, which we never got to do, unfortunately. But then the squire for the Black Knight turned around to us and he went, "You two are the best dressed peasants I've seen all week. Well done."
And I said, "How dare you?" Because he assumed that we were peasants, and that's just rude.
And then we actually saw them as they were as we were pulling out of the festival in the car. We saw them bringing the horses back down, and the same guy turned to us. He went, "My lady, my lord, keep the drip dripping."
Obviously. It was great. They were such big personalities. Because it wasn't just jousting. They also had like little skirmishes and characters with grudges, and it was just...
Medieval jousting tournament!
Yeah, all the squires got to have a little fight in amongst them. I think, based off some of the pictures I've seen, because it was kind of hard to see from where we were for certain parts of it, but it also looked like on some of them the squires may have fought the knights.
Potentially on other days. What is she doing over there? Yeah, she's not here.
Rabbit!
Come back!
I can see you. Rabbit!
Da, ba, ba.
Bah.
This is normal.
What are you doing, you suspicious creature? Right.
But yeah, so
Yep.
they did, I think they mixed it up every time, so you got a little bit of something different, depending on what day you went, what time, because there were 2 jousts each day, one at noon, one at 3. We fully watched the noon one. We kind of hovered around for the 3, but by that time we were kind of tired and feet were blistered and we were getting ready to head out.
Yeah. Probably the biggest regret of the day was the choice of footwear. They weren't great.
And it's every person who LARPs tells you. Everyone says.
Immersion ends at the ankles.
But
We didn't listen.
my feet have now recovered, so it's okay. But we know now, and we'll just find better for next time.
Or just make some kind of leg covers that can cover the tops of regular, like, comfy hiking boots.
That's the way. But yeah, and then the Bohurt was absolutely incredible. The sound, there is something about being in the middle of Sherwood Forest and just hearing the sounds of like weapons on armor clashing and men shouting. That was cool.
Yeah, it was very cool. And so brutal.
Oh my gosh.
Because we watched more than we filmed, and it was just brutal. Brutal. When we first walked up, some bloke was
tapping
like,
out,
dragging
basically
himself out of the ring because he was like,
I'm done.
I'm done. And I don't blame him.
It's like,
There's some big boys in that place.
pull me out, coach.
Yeah. Please. I'm done.
But everyone there did a great job, and they were going. And that's the thing. So the jousts were like 2 separate events, whereas the Bohurt was just on from like 10 to noon.
There were different groups doing it.
There were
at a
different
time,
groups, but it was like 10 to noon, and then I think 1:30 to 3, and they just
kept going.
smashed it.
Well done.
We did not try archery or axe throwing because those are things we can do on our own with our own bows and our own arrows, and we weren't going to pay extra money to do it there.
Especially since the bows that they were actually allowing people to use weren't.
Yeah,
It
it's
wasn't
not
like they
like it
were
was a
real
long
long,
bow.
but or at least we don't think.
I don't
Obviously,
think so.
we didn't go
it
over to
looks
try.
like the fake ones.
Yeah,
I say the fake ones, the baby ones,
Yeah,
baby bows.
practice bows.
Yeah.
But aside from that, like I say, you could have gone and had a go. Obviously, for us, we've got bows and arrows, so it's less interesting. But if you don't get to do that sort of thing on a daily basis,
It's a great opportunity.
definitely
Great experience.
100%. Keep your eye out for any events that they're going to have. England viewers,
There
keep your eye out for
are-
events at Sherwood Forest.
There is a list of like summer events in like July and August. They've got at least 2 weekends where they're doing festival things like this. So you might see us there.
I apologise if I'm moving around awkwardly. I'm a bit achy. Back to training
to the
and
gym.
back to the gym, and I hurt myself a little bit today.
Oh my gosh, the dogs.
Absolutely, yeah.
There are
Some
so many
amazing dogs, some
dogs.
wolf-looking dogs, big huskies.
You're shadowing on me.
Sorry.
Sorry. I keep trying to like lean forward and then you're leaning forward. I'm like, but yeah, sorry, you were saying about the dogs.
Yeah, no, there was just so many different big dogs there. Big
Yeah.
huskies, big malamutes, big. I'm
there
pretty
was-
sure one of them was a wolf. It looked like a
looked like a
coyote wolf.
Well,
thing
no,
there.
there were 2. So there was one that looked more coyote-esque and one that full on looked like a wolf. And I was like, I love him. Can I fuss him? I didn't actually ask that because like I was nervous enough about like filming around all these people, which is something we need to work on getting more comfortable with, because we reached out to the event organizers to make sure we were all right to film, and they said absolutely. Tag us in any content you have, like make sure you put us as collaborators, all that kind of stuff. So they were super encouraging about filming, and even asked if we wanted to do any kind of like interviews, which we weren't at that point yet.
Still not great on the in-person
Public
filming
filming.
thing. Hopefully by the time the next one comes around. But we are also hoping to potentially try and reach out to them and see if there's anything we can do to help out at any future events, because
Yes.
they did such a great job.
It
I
was
can imagine that
amazing.
any help they could get would be.
Bring our own costumes.
I'm sure we could think of something to try and help build the immersion even further.
But yeah, so it was a good day. It was a long day. It was a very good day though.
Lots of walking around.
There were also some food stall places. We pretty much only got drinks and brought our own snacks.
Because we're the paws.
We're on a budget. It's too hot.
So just stop.
Perfect.
Camera overheated. But yeah, I mean, we're pretty much at the end point on this one anyway. Obviously,
Pretty close.
the biggest thing that we really got to do on the day was meet the Hooded Man. I'm not going to say his real name here because I don't know how out there it's supposed to be. Although I have seen a video with it in, but still, just for immersion's sake, we met Robin Hood. No way.
No.
No way. No way. For immersion's sake, we met Robin Hood, and really good guy. Like I said, we wouldn't have even known about the event if I hadn't have seen his short about the Gathering of the North event coming up. So
Yeah.
that was what made us like, oh, we'll go along. Made him his little
Axe ring.
axe ring. Oh, couldn't remember if I'd already said it.
You
Yeah,
did.
made him his little axe ring and took it along to him. He was really happy to receive it. He's been very grateful for it and very kind about responding. We'll throw up a little picture of two of us here. Should have got one with you and him as well.
That's okay.
No, I know, but I could have got one with you.
That's
and him.
alright.
Although then you would have
We'd have looked like Robin Hood.
You'd have
and
looked like
Marion.
his maid Marion.
No.
Nicer guy as he is. So yeah, really nice guy. I had a good chat with him for a little while. So we're very glad that we got to meet him.
But with that, I think we're pretty much at the end of the video. God, I'm in
Yeah.
darkness.
We know they've got another couple of events coming up in July and August, I think.
Yep.
So we're hopeful. Fingers crossed that we can get along to both of them. Even more hopeful that we can potentially get to a couple of days of them. It depends, because now I'm aware that things were slightly different every time. It definitely seems like it's worth going a couple of times, because you may see them do a slightly different show or a slightly different training thing or a slightly different display. So to anyone who decides that they want to go in the future, then at least this one was a 3-day event. It started on the Saturday and then it went through to the bank holiday Monday, and you could go on any one of those days or all of those days.
Which we just went on the Sunday. We were supposed to go on the Saturday, woke up feeling like absolute garbage, and then
it was raining.
Sunday ended up being the nicest day of the weekend.
Well, that was the other thing. It said it was supposed to rain on Saturday, so we were like, no.
Even though I do still need to test the current waterproofness of my cloak. Which, it was a great opportunity to try out, like, most of our gear and what we've made and stuff, and I think it all held up
this
very
was it.
nicely.
Because at first we were kind of like, a lot of it's very fantasy. And then the more I thought about it, the more I was like, it's very obnoxious of me to assume that I can make anything in leather that someone couldn't have hundreds of years ago. As long as they had access to leather, there's nothing I can make that they couldn't. So pretty much anything goes. If it's made of just leather and like anything too shiny or whatever, too modern,
Vibrant.
we wouldn't have taken.
The Dragon Ball Z pouches, for example,
Yeah.
but those aren't ours anyway.
Or handbags. Yeah, we don't need things like that. But, as far as sword frogs, wand sheaths, which Katie can also use for daggers, as I showed in the video.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen that video,
Right there.
it's right over there.
But yeah, it was a really nice opportunity for us to get to try out our stuff and get something of an almost LARP experience, which just made us hungry for more.
Very much so. So now we're keeping every finger crossed that we can somehow swing a magic act to make it to Empire, and we know it's in a couple of weeks. So we're hoping to make it to one of the Empires soon, by hook or by crook. How possible? Don't know. The more of you subscribe, the more possible it'll be in the future. I know that much. So if you haven't already, down there, just help yourself. What's the order?
Hit like.
Subscribe.
And turn on notifications so you get notified when we post, because we have so many cool things coming up. We've already filmed them. Mostly, we just need to finish them. It's overheating again. We need to finish this up.
So yeah, that was our weekend at the Gathering of the North in Sherwood Forest.
And it was so cool.
Really cool. Very much recommend. Anyone who can make it to the next one, absolutely do so.
And with that, we'll see you in the next video.
Whatever that could be.
We have a few ideas.
Probably gonna be making something.
But which of us is it going to be? Probably him.
We're gonna have to find out.
Subscribe, gosh darn it.
Yes. Right, now go away.
Why are you still here?
Go away and watch the wizard video.
The video's over.